The Day of the Dead, known as Día de Muertos in Spanish, is a traditional holiday celebration in Mexico, which takes place from midnight of November 1st to noon of November 2nd.
Despite many cultures and countries have a special day to honor the souls, Mexican celebration is special and unique due to the meaningful activities and symbolic ways to honor and remember the departed family members, friends, or any other person who has passed away. It's an opportunity to remember and honor the loved ones who are no longer alive, but it's also a connection between death and life. During this holiday, death is not perceived as a sad event, but as a welcome part of life. Bright colors are present in the decorations such as skulls, flowers, offerings, and the traditional artwork known as papel picado.
Skulls or calaveras are an important element during this date. We can appreciate them in different forms such as sugar candies, clay decoration, and face painting.
This perception of death began during the pre-Hispanic period and was present in many cultures in Mesoamerica, which used to venerate different goddesses related to death and the underworld. Aztecs used to have a month when they celebrated the dead and paid homage to the Lady of Death, Mictecacihuatl, who protected the dead and helped them in the afterlife. Since then, the representation of death is important in Mexican culture, especially on this holiday. In the 1900s, a new character was born, a skull feminine figure using a big flashy hat. During the governments of Benito Juárez, Sebastián Lerdo de Tejada, and Porfirio Díaz, a new type of newspaper surged, known as combat newspaper. They were used mainly by the middle class, where they published writings mocking and talking in a satirical way to criticize the political situation, and the privileged class followed with illustrations. José Guadalupe Posada was an artist, able exponent of caricature and engraving technique, who participated in different combat newspapers such as El Aguizote and La Patria Ilustrada, whose writings were used to highlight the inequalities and social injustice lived in the country during the Porfiriato. He was also recognized by its graphic work, which includes skulls and skeletons to illustrate crime and woman stories. He named his character La Calavera Garbancera. Garbancero was a term used to allude to indigenous people who rejected their origins, pretending to be European, and rejected their own culture. These illustrations were also followed with the famous calaveras literarias, written in verse to make fun of a situation or a person. Nowadays, a tradition in the Day of the Dead. In the 1940s, Diego Rivera gave her the name of La CATRINA and reinterpreted her with new features like clothes, glamour, and elegance in his painting Dream of a Sunday Afternoon in La Alameda Central, where the artist portrayed himself stood next to José Guadalupe Posada, La CATRINA, and other important figures of that time. The name came up from the term Catrín, which was used to talk about someone who is elegant. At first, the purpose of this character was a satirical critique of Mexican society, but nowadays it's an iconic element during the celebration of Day of the Dead, not only in drawings or by dimensional representation. It is present as a living artwork which represents the wellness of Mexican tradition. Another traditional activity during the celebration of Day of the Dead is putting altars for the loved ones who are no longer alive. It is believed that the dead can have their favorite food and visit their loved ones by making a long trip from the underworld, following a path of traditional flowers called cempasúchil every year. It's important to know and continue our traditions with pride.